Coming up this week on Sporting Journal Radio.
No, he's Canadian. He doesn't even know what an inch is.
Frank Ragnow right now, the center, Pro Bowl center for the Detroit Lions. Ladies and gentlemen, the crowd goes wild. I thought we could have like
Sorry, I'm not as old as you guys.
So that's your excuse for your mistaken mustache?
Broadcasting on the Sporting Journal Radio Network, wherever you get your podcasts, or watch on YouTube.
Fish on right now.
Well, we're here at the 2024 Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic, presented by OnX. Know where you stand with OnX. And our guest now is Jeremy Smith. I fish, I hunt, and always will.
Just to look out for your everyday hunter, angler, and trapper that's out there.
A Fish Hunt Forever production. This is Sporting Journal Radio. I can't believe it's over, guys. I'm a little choked up about it. I didn't mean to be.
What's wrong?
Hunting season's over.
Oh, no.
I'm not happy about it, but that means I can dedicate my time to fishing.
Wrong button. I thought you were going to come out of the gate and be like, Happy New Year, everybody. But no, you just laid depression on everybody.
All right, rewind. Happy New Year, everybody.
Should we start the show over? Just.
Happy New Year, everybody. There you go. All right.
Happy New Year.
We're back at it. I'm Brett Amundsen with Dan Amundsen and David Eckhart over there.
Blazing hot show.
You know, I'm excited for this weekend, even though hunting season is over. It's always a depressing time for me, but it's a good time to be a Vikings fan right now. Where is it? Dan? Come on. You can do it. There. No, that's the wild. Strike two. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. They're playing Detroit Lions. Exciting game. And we had Frank Ragnow from the Detroit Lions on earlier this year. So when we were talking about doing like a year-end show, I know we're just into January, but this is our year-end show.
2025 is over, folks.
Yes. That's right. If you blink, you missed it.
Year in review.
That's a wrap.
There you go. So we thought we wanted to play back some of our favorite interviews. We decided we're just going to play back one, and it's going to be part of one with Frank Ragnow from the Detroit Lions. So a big game this weekend. Excited about it. You guys got your money on the Vikings or what?
No. Of course.
No. Of course and no. You're not even using your new button over there, Dan.
Oh!
N-O, no.
So, David, I was telling you about our auction. This is the one thing I won.
Nice.
No means no.
That's
He says it like 1,000 different ways.
No.
So, yeah, we don't need button bars anymore.
Doomsday Dan has a new
have button.
That's perfect. What do you give the man?
Times no.
Who's living in a doomsday world?
Yep.
A no button.
But you know what? 2025 is going to be a great year.
All right. Hey, and it is going to be good because we got a big giveaway that we'll be announcing soon. It'll be a trip to Guardian Eagle Resort. All right. Yeah, so that is going to be coming up very soon, and we're going to be talking more about that coming up later in the show. And we'll talk about some of our favorite things we learned over the last year and give you some fishing reports and more. Dan, who is this week sponsored by?
This week, Invergrove Toyota is the official truck sponsor of Fish Hunt Forever. Maybe you're looking for a new rig for 2025. Go to Fish Hunt for Invergrove Toyota. Lake of the Woods Tourism. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world. Plan a trip for this ice fishing season at lakeofthewoodsmn.com. OnX Hunt. See private land boundaries, recent imagery, offline maps, and Minnesota-specific hunt layers. Download the OnX Hunt app today. Tasman Lake Lodge. Catch world record lake trout and giant pike this summer at Saskatchewan's Tasman Lake. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. The Minnesota Sportsman Show is January 17th through the 19th at Canterbury Park in Shakopee with free on-site parking. Learn more at mnresortshow.com. Prairie Sportsman. The new season is almost here. Get caught up on previous shows anytime at the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. Haybell Heights Campground and Resort. Fish out of a snow bear on Devil's Lake this winter. Learn more at haybellheights.com. And Guardian Eagle Resort. Plan a trip for next summer to the Ontario waters of Guardian Eagle Resort. Fly directly from the Twin Cities. It's so easy. Learn more at guardianeagle.com.
All right, this opening segment is brought to you by Invergrove Toyota. They've got deals on new 24 and 25 Tundras in stock, as well as a bunch of other Toyota vehicles there, Tacomas and Highlanders, different vehicles. They got a bunch of customer cash discounts, some dealer discounts, and then we can save you some money as well, too. So go to invergrovetoyota.com/FHF and fill out the form to save on your new Toyota at Invergrove Toyota, 494 in Robert Street, Invergrove Heights, Minnesota. David, what did you learn in 2024?
No ice is safe. That was a good one.
I know you told this story a couple of weeks ago, but give us an abbreviated version of it.
Went fishing on 4.5 inches of ice, and a heave shifted and the ice kind of fell apart around me. So, yeah, wear your suits early, ice picks. Yeah, that was a good lesson learned. I had all that on, but I was good. You could have been in a real bad situation real quick.
Bring a change of underwear when you ice fish, or
I don't think I could have messed myself if I tried.
what?
Let's just say things were clenched up tight.
I was in a panic.
Was that the fastest you've ever moved, trying to get off that lake?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hucked everything in the sled and ran.
Did you have cleats on?
No, I didn't. There was a little bit of snow. But, yeah. Maybe I did have my cleats on.
So, New Year's resolution for David, be safe on the ice.
Yep.
Something like that.
That was mine in 2019.
During your Red Lake rescue?
Yeah.
That was the second thought that went through my head is, am I going to have to get rescued like Dan?
What did you learn in 24, Dan?
Never trust a boat motor. Had a lot of boat problems this year.
Check your batteries.
Well, yeah, check your batteries at the beginning of the season before you go to timber mill on the Rainy River. And then even then, don't trust it if you buy a used boat. But someone please buy my used boat.
Yeah, twice you had to get that motor fixed this year, right?
Yeah, same issue. Mercury Optimax. Air compressor, shocker, everyone will do it if you own an Optimax, but I had to do it twice in 2 months. We were stuck in Canada.
Yeah.
We were up in the most remote place we ever take my boat. And had that happen 3 months after I got it repaired. So that's a good time. But other than that, it was a fun year. Every year is different when it comes to fishing. This year was one of those years with weird winter, weird spring, weird summer.
We were very, very remote, but his boat broke down in front of a very pretty girl, which it's perfect timing.
What are the odds?
And good.
All right. I learned I can't, this isn't really that big of a deal, but I cannot shoot pheasants swinging to my right. I don't know what it is, but I had 3 different layups this year that birds got up right next to me and then flew behind me. So I had to swing back to my right, and I wasted 9 shells on 3 different birds that did not take a feather off of any of them. They're almost identical. So I don't.
So if we're hunting layouts, don't put you on the right side.
Don't put me on the right side.
Oh, that reminds me of another thing I learned.
Okay.
My 410 didn't work too great on that honker.
No.
Remember that? We were,
oh my God.
We were hunting just a couple weeks ago. It was late season, and we sat most of the day, and all the birds flew the wrong way, except for 10 of them, with trucks in the spread and 10 shells left that we hadn't picked up yet, and this thing just sucks right in perfectly. So I creep up behind one of the trucks, reload my 410, and I guess you actually always have to check to make sure which barrel's selected to shoot first, because I had the wrong barrel. The one barrel I didn't load, goose got away.
Gun one click.
You had a 50-50 chance there, Dan.
I blew it.
We waited. I mean, I did spend some time in the truck that day, but it was a very cold day in December, and we waited and waited for those birds to fly out. And finally, at, 2 o'clock or something, we decided, you know what? I think we were with our buddy Tony, and he had to go pick up the kids. He's like, let's just pick up the spread and get out of here. Most of the birds fed somewhere else. And as soon as the trucks are in the decoy spread, what happens? Flock of geese. Yeah, flock of geese came in, and one spun out and literally landed next to the trucks in the decoys.
I think I just said that, didn't I?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Thanks for retelling my story.
Nobody listens to you, Dan.
It never fails.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, all right. So we got a pretty cool show for you coming up. Hey, I also recapped all of our trips in 2024. I wrote a blog. You can see all the places we went in 2024. You can see how you can take trips there, see our videos, pictures, and more at the Fish Hunt Forever website, fishhuntforever.com. So we've got this giveaway coming up to Guardian Eagle Resort, and if you haven't watched the video, it was so crazy, Dan. I don't know, maybe we can play part of this, because the end of the video was just nutty. We kept trying to wrap it up, David, and we just kept catching fish. And the amount of walleyes we caught there was insane. And I wonder if we could watch it like the old Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I watched that on Christmas Eve, actually.
Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yeah, we should do that. Let's make fun of ourselves.
We should do that, and we have a guy that can help us out. He's the new editor with Prairie Sportsman.
I love it.
Let's bring him on right now.
Okay.
Sick of eating tag soup? It's time to own your odds this fall with OnX Hunt, the GPS hunting app trusted by millions of hunters. Now you'll have access to nationwide public and private land ownership information, waypoints, optimal win for each stand, tracks, and much more. All at your fingertips. Go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code SJR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your membership. That's code SJR20. All right, the new season of Prairie Sportsman is coming very, very soon, and we've got a new addition to the Prairie Sportsman staff that we're going to introduce you to right now. Brad Keely joins us. Brad, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Welcome to this podcast, and of course, welcome to Prairie Sportsman. We're excited to have you on board, and I want to learn a little bit more about you, introduce you, and talk about your history a little bit as an editor and in television. Because when I heard that you were coming on board in the show that you worked on, I mean, I don't know, it was very popular. It was based in Minnesota. It exploded. I don't know, would you call it a cult classic, or how would you describe Mystery Science Theater 3000?
It was definitely a cult classic. I mean, there were so many just amazingly rabid fans that loved everything that came out of Best Brains back in the early 80s.
What year were you? Was that? What year did you know? How long did you work on it? And did you ever expect it to get as big as it did?
You know, honestly, I never did. It was interesting. We got a contract for 3 seasons from the Comedy Channel at the time, and they were just desperate for programming. And to get a 3-season contract for 24 episodes they just wanted to fill airtime, and it was amazing how it took off. And just, I mean, people do it all the time, and they just Joel and Jim just capitalized on that idea and made it a good thing, a big thing.
Yeah, the idea of watching something else and then commenting on it, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was quite an operation. That's all that company did for 10 seasons.
10 seasons. Yeah. Wow. Now, were you a part of that? Were you part of the idea of that show, or did they bring you on after they kind of had the idea?
The idea was well established by the time I got there. I started at the beginning of season 4.
Okay.
With the episode Space Travelers 401, and stayed through the end of the show to the bitter end. So
editing. I mean, for people that don't know, do we have a something we can run, Dan, or a still or something, so we can kind of set the stage? I mean, people
talk amongst yourselves. I'll find it.
People should know, but essentially, it's watching like a B movie in a theater, right? And you're seeing the back of their heads watching this movie.
Yeah, the idea was this person is part of a grand experiment to kind of take over the world, and he's being forced to watch bad movies just because to see what happens with their mind and see if he can handle that kind of stress. I mean, you don't want to dive too deep into it, as the theme song used to say. It's just a show. Relax.
And it's 2 robots. How are they controlled? Is that a show?
They were puppets. Yeah, they were controlled by Trace Ballou and Josh Weinstein, and then at the end, Bill Corbett and Kevin Murphy. They were just puppets, and they got so good at giving them life and personality. It was kind of amazing to watch. When you would ask Kevin a question and he's running servo, he would make servo talk, because it was just instant. Very funny.
That's great. Well, it's really neat to have you as part of Prairie Sportsman. So when we heard that you were going to be coming on board, we were trying to figure out how we could turn Prairie, like we were going to just put Prairie Sportsman up on the big screen and then just sit back and watch it and comment on our own shows, or criticize how we looked or what we were saying, or something. Make fun of ourselves, basically, I think. So we decided not to do that to Prairie Sportsman, but we are going to do that to Fish Hunt Forever. So and then coming up later in this show, we're gonna Mystery Science Theater 3000 Fish Hunt Forever.
Some of our favorite moments of the year.
Yeah, what can we do? What tips can you give us to make it make it go well for us and for the listeners / viewers?
Well, the biggest thing is don't really worry about anything. Just say what comes to your mind. I mean, you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. I think everybody takes it for what it is, and it's just a fun, lighthearted, poking fun at yourself kind of thing.
It's just a show.
It's just a show, yeah. One of the bigger things is people really love the cultural references of Mystery Science Theater. They used to say they would do a joke, and if one person understood it, they were so happy. And a lot of it went over my head. And the entire time I was there was only one line that I was credited with. And it was something that when we're recording, they can't stop themselves. They keep saying different comments, even while they're recording the movie segments in the studio. And everybody just kind of yells and chips in and stuff like that. And I had one line that I kind of said while I was running the audio board, and the writer loved it that was sitting behind me. So Mary Jo just said, "Hey, can I use that?" And it ended up in the show. And I don't know if I got a writing credit or not, but that was the only time. So
well, I would sue him if you didn't. There's
lost.
Okay, good. Do you remember what the line was?
Yes, I do. I don't know why, but I have some sort of problem with. I always remember the episode names and titles and numbers. I can't let them go. But that was episode 706, I believe, The Melting Man, Incredible Melting Man. And he fell in a river, and the character had glasses on, and he fell in a river after he had his head removed, and I said something like, I can't remember, where are my glasses, or something like that, because the floating head didn't have glasses on it, so.
All right, so that is our goal then. When we watch our video, we have to work that line into our video somehow.
So, any of us wear glasses?
I may have used a curse word, so I had to edit myself. The kind of place you're comfortable in that.
Nice.
Well, Brad, I appreciate you coming on, and we're looking forward to working with you with Prairie Sportsman, and we'll have you back on. You did some other stuff around the Twin Cities area and in television. We want to probably have you back on to talk about some of that, and we'll probably talk hunting and fishing with you too. But we'll let you get back. So we're excited. We're probably not going to be anywhere near as entertaining as Mystery Science Theater 3000. But we'll do our best to honor the legacy of the cult classic.
I will and keep an eye out for it.
All right.
The key is that even though it looked like it was live, they had a huge process about replacing lines, and because they flub up a lot, so don't worry about it. It's just a show.
We need to do that because we flub up all the time.
Quit trying to give me more work.
Do you want to start, Brad? Do you want to start editing our show?
Yeah, I'm available.
That's funny. And you edit this. You have your own editing company too. It sounds like.
I do. Yep. I've been doing it for about 25 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going well.
Very cool.
So far,
all right.
so good.
Brad Keely, we'll be sending you some Prairie Sportsman stuff here soon to get ready for the new season. It's going to be coming out in February on Pioneer PBS out of Granite Falls, or on a PBS station near you, or the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. Brad, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right, so we're going to Mystery Science Theater 3000, our Guardian Eagle Resort video. Plus, we got Frank Ragnow from the Detroit Lions coming up on Sporting Journal Radio. It doesn't get much better than fresh perch and fresh walleye. If you're looking for an exciting winter fishing destination, come to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Haybale Heights Campground and Resort is on the ice with a fleet of snow bears, keeping you mobile and warm so you can stay on the roaming schools of fish. Haybale Heights on the east end of Devil's Lake has knowledgeable guides, comfortable cabins, and their own lake access, making your trip as successful and stress-free as possible. To book your trip, go to haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com.
The Minnesota Sportsman Show is back January 17th to the 19th, now at Canterbury Park in Shakopee. Visit hunting and fishing resorts from the Midwest to Canada, Great Lakes charters to African safaris. Plan your vacation right at the show. There's fishing gear and the latest fishing electronics. Fishing seminars by Tom Wynn and Joe Henry. The Sportsman Show, January 17th through the 19th at Canterbury Park with free parking. Details at mnresortshow.com. A Sonenko production.
All right, we're back. This segment brought to you by Guardian Eagle Resort. Bring the family and fish for walleyes and pike on 75,000 acres of private water. Fly direct from Minneapolis or Chicago, or you could drive up to Sioux Lookout and jump in a plane and fly just a short flight from there and land right at their concrete runway at the lodge in 2 hours from Minneapolis. Learn more at guardianeagle.com. We had a chance to go up there last year, and we're giving away a trip this year that you could win to go up there and fish for just an insane amount of walleyes. We filmed a video there that you can see on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel, but we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, Mystery Science Theater 3000, the Fish Hunt Forever video from Guardian Eagle Resort. Right now on Sporting Journal Radio.
Here we go. We're going to start from our shore lunch on the last day.
Ceviche. Oh, yeah, we had ceviche that day. That was good.
You ever had that, David?
I have. Down in Texas, we made it.
With walleye, though?
No, with snapper.
Oh, that'd be good. I didn't even know what it was, and all of a sudden I just see all this stuff getting put into a bowl.
And it's raw fish.
Yeah, and then, like, well, when are you going to cook it? And he just hands it, here, try this. I'm like, that is raw. And it's delicious, though.
Oh, yeah.
I want to try it.
It went fast.
Oh, yeah, like, I barely got any.
So we kept hearing about the falls or the rapids down at one end of one of the lakes. They have two lakes there. And so we went over and had shore lunch, then we went and fished down at the bottom of these falls. And earlier in the year...
Look how cute we are. We were matching there.
You can catch so many fish.
It looks like a terrible spot to have shore lunch, too.
Oh,
just
gosh.
terrible scenery.
Well, the whole lake's beautiful. Here we go.
Yeah, probably.
Griffin's got a pike on here.
It's a decent pike,
We have two nets in this boat, by the way. So why am I netting the fish?
That's a good question.
I'm filming this.
I'm not sure.
No, you're filming this.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I'm probably handing you the net.
Yeah, there, because now I've got the big net.
Yeah. I like to multitask.
Look at this. Look at this net job.
Look at that stretch.
Not good.
Not bad.
Thank you.
It's wild. Like the pike fishing, you can go and cast for pike up there, but basically you just jig for walleyes and catch these big pike on walleye here.
Dang, live
just a bycatch.
in the way.
Yeah. Look how fat that thing is.
Well, they have a gazillion walleyes to eat.
Right.
What do you want for lunch today, walleye?
So many walleyes. It's just crazy.
I mean, you can cast for
Your hat's crooked.
Always.
You look like a gangster.
My hat's always.
Yo, what up, man? We here at Guardian Eagle Resort catching some walleyes.
That's exactly how I sounded.
Yep.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's nice. You need to tell me when my hat's crooked because
I'm not filming that. Look, I'm fishing.
I think
in
my
the background.
I think my head is shaped funny. Like I think that's how hats,
we knew that.
I think that's how hats fit on my head.
Mm-hmm.
The normal way. So I always have to turn my hat just a little bit, and it doesn't feel right. So I think I got dropped. I got hit in the head with a golf club when I was 3.
I thought it was a baseball bat.
I got hit in the head with a baseball bat when I was in 2nd grade.
Oh.
A lot of head trauma.
I got hit in the head with a baseball 2 or 3 times.
Well, those fish were so hard to hang on to. Look how I caught that.
That was nice.
Nice recovery.
This is the wall pike, isn't it? So if you
that's
look,
coming up. That's a
yeah.
walleye.
Oh, thanks.
Well, you thought it was a wall pike.
Well, I thought that. I forgot.
Such a cool color up north, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, real dark. We didn't even show the feeding walleyes off the dock. There's that.
No, I was at the beginning of this day. So we skipped that. So here's the beauty of this, though. This is like a 30-minute video. It's such a fun trip. But you can go to the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel and watch the whole thing. There it is.
There's the wall pike right there, yeah.
Remember, I was reeling in that fish, and I think I had a brand new unreleased tungsten on. And I see this pike come up. I'm like, oh, gosh, please don't. Like, please eat this. But I don't want to lose this jig. And it didn't. No, you guys didn't really even believe me that it was there. Oh, let's just start our steaks on fire.
Those steaks were so good. So there was a secret to those steaks.
Yeah,
right?
I got to see it. I can't tell you what it is. But Claire didn't even want that to be filmed.
Yeah.
Like, Twyla had to talk him into it. And he just turns to me. He's like, one guy could watch this and just think we were just burning our steaks. But you can see here, it was so good. Mushrooms on there. Oh, the food there was unbelievable.
Broccoli.
for like a fly-in place.
Yeah, look at that dessert.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of having a runway right at your lodge.
Right.
I mean, it's expensive to fly everything in. There's no question, but being able to do it with a plane with wheels versus a float plane helps a lot. And you can, with running guests in and out like that, and being 20 minutes from Sioux Lookout too, it's easy to get some stuff in there. It's still
crooked again.
It's expensive every time. I told you. I can't help it. It's the way my head is shaped. Don't make fun of my head shape, Dan.
Your head's weird.
So then every evening after you eat, you can go fish behind the lodge, and all
the
these
runway's right up in like over your back shoulder there.
I just watched these guys
Yeah,
put 4 fish in the boat before I even.
it was so crazy. And so it's like 6 feet of water, and in the evenings the walleyes just stack in there.
Dan's been running plastics. I've been running plastics most of this trip, but I wanted
See
to
that fish flop? You can't hang on. It's impossible to hang on to these
Fish
fish.
handling. Yeah.
They got the net out again over there.
Yeah, these guys were just crushing fish. They kept chirping us too, because I don't know what we were trying to do, but
We were trying to fish. They were just literally putting a jig in the water with a minnow.
yeah, but they just start yelling over at us like, "Looks like a comedy show."
It was.
Soft plastics.
But when we were using plastics, they were using live bait, which the plastics, I mean,
So efficient.
caught almost just as many fish.
You don't need to
probably.
use
But you didn't have to rebait every
Yeah,
single
exactly.
fish.
And I mean, it's a difference of catching 75 fish or 100 fish in a day.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's the difference of catching the same amount of fish, I think.
probably so crazy.
I was trying to film this nice little bit here about this bait, and then like Griffin's our guide is filming now for us.
Yeah.
He should have gotten paid for the trip, I guess.
Chewed on, but it's not going to rip. When you're on a trip like this at a place like Guardian,
You almost had to just reel up all your lines to film something. Otherwise you're going to lose a rod over the side.
baits, we're keeping our baits in the water.
I'm saying that as a
because we're not
setup.
having to swap plastics or re-rig
See, the
live
lighting's a
bait.
little different
And
now
we're
because
saving
we
money
tried to shoot
because
this
we're
like
using the
4
same
different
bait.
times.
That's right. We kept having to redo it.
Another one in the back bay, Dan.
Dude, we were just having
Do you need
so
to
much
bring
fun. I mean, it's constant fish.
like 100 feet of paracord just to tie around your rod, just in case?
Not a bad idea. Look at that loon. I love loons so much.
That was pretty cool.
Horizon's crooked.
Dang it. You're fired.
You shot that.
Oh, I'm fired.
I don't know. I probably shot it.
I don't
You
know.
never film on these trips.
I think we both filmed that sunset as we came around the corner. I was filming the loons, I think.
Well, here, see this how good I am. I'm filming and caught a fish.
And now I'm filming. Look at that.
Well, sorry, I almost lost a rod. I just heard a thump and looked over, and my rod was doubled over. It thinks it's a
Yeah,
decent
just tie
fish.
some paracord to your rod and then tie it to the base of your seat.
We should have just put rattle reels off the gunnel.
It's a nice walleye. Sure. Good way to end.
Gosh, these
That's
walleyes
a
are
cool
just
way to
like
end.
black.
Cameraman gets a little bonus fish.
Are we ending
That's
there?
always- how many times has that
Well, we
happened?
thought
when
so.
tried to film a bit
We were trying to
and,
go in.
Somebody's rod
Yeah.
gets chewed
Get
on,
a
and we
beer
get
at the campfire
good
or
problem to
something.
have.
Everyone was hanging out around a campfire, and we're just still trying to finish a video.
Fishing with Griffin a lot here these last couple of days. Now, normally here the guides don't fish, so when you come up here to fish, you'll be in the
Because they don't have time. Because they're just constantly rebaiting.
So if you notice there, he just threw Dan's jig just kind of over the side. So the rod's laying down. The jig is probably like 3 feet of line maybe out. He handed Dan the fish, threw his jig over the side, and while we're sitting there, and Dan's, I think we're going to take a picture of the fish, and I'm yapping on for way too long, like usual.
I edited a lot out of this, actually.
Trimmed it down.
Like, geez, we don't need a 5-minute outro here. We're trying to go home.
Trying to wrap it up.
It's a lot of fun. We've had a great time. So thank you for watching. Make sure.
And then there goes Dan's rod.
Well, at the time, we don't even realize, we don't even know whose rod it is.
Fishing is here at Garden Eagle Resort in Ontario.
That's my rod.
Unreal.
That's my rod. That shouldn't have even been in the water fishing. That was just dangling over the side.
I still have a fish in my hand.
fish in my hand.
It's like I said that. And we're still matching. Isn't that great?
Oh, it's
Land
cute.
that, let's
Stuff up.
Let's get a
Just dangling to the
Yes!
side. That's how much line was out. We're in 6.5 feet of water. Dan
Crazy.
had 3 feet of line out and just caught that walleye right there. This is
22-inch walleye.
absolutely.
I don't know how he knows that's 22 inches.
Probably because he looks at
Guarding Eagle Resort.
800 walleyes every week.
No, he's Canadian. He doesn't even know what an inch is.
This resort right here. Oh man, you got to check this place out. Claire and Twyla
That's
Burton,
right.
thank you very
All
much.
right, GuardianEagleResort.com is the website. Check this full video at the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel and learn more about booking a trip to Guardian Eagle too on our website at fishhuntforever.com.
So you can't even hold on to them. It's impossible. I don't know what it is about those fish. They're just mad at the world. We kind of wasn't the greatest. I feel bad. He had to high five my slimy fish glove. You know how bad those things smell at the end of the season?
Slimy high fives. All right. Did you have something else to add there, Dan?
No, just barfing over my slimy fish gloves.
Did you just throw them and buy a new pair?
No, I should. You want to buy me some?
Nope.
All right. So we're going to give away a trip to Guardian Eagle. Stay tuned, as Dan would say, to Sporting Journal Radio for more details on how to win. And Frank Ragnow, the center for the Detroit Lions, big game with the Vikings in Detroit. We're going to play back an interview we did with him earlier this year when we come back on Sporting Journal Radio.
It doesn't get much better than fresh perch and fresh walleye. If you're looking for an exciting winter fishing destination, come to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Haybale Heights Campground and Resort is on the ice with a fleet of snow bears, keeping you mobile and warm so you can stay on the roaming schools of fish. Haybale Heights on the east end of Devil's Lake has knowledgeable guides, comfortable cabins, and their own lake access, making your trip as successful and stress-free as possible. To book your trip, go to haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com.
All right, we're back. I'm Brett Amundsen. We had the chance to talk to the center for the Detroit Lions, Frank Ragnow, earlier this year. It was one of our favorite interviews, and with the big game taking place this Sunday night, Vikings at Detroit, we thought we'd play back this interview. It's brought to you by Tasman Lake Lodge. I think we're going to get Frank up to Tasman, by the way. Trophy lake trout, northern pike fishing in scenic northern Saskatchewan. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. Here it is, a portion of the interview from week 616. If you want to hear the full interview, check out podcast week 616. Frank Ragnow right now, the center, Pro Bowl center for the Detroit Lions. Ladies and gentlemen, the crowd goes wild. I thought we could have like the...
Wait, whoa. What was the boo?
Yeah. Let's see.
First down Vikings.
Oh my goodness. I wasn't informed of this before I came on. I'm out of here.
He didn't agree to this. We have to give you a little bit of a hard time, but obviously you're playing for Detroit. And I'll tell you what, there's been maybe one time on my hands that I can count, one finger that I can count on the times I've cheered for the Detroit Lions, and that was this year, or this past season anyway. Obviously, we're Viking fans here. We grew up watching the Vikings, but it's been fun to watch you over there, and it was fun to see what you guys did with the Lions last season, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's fun winning. Let me tell you, we've had some tough years in my career, and to be able to be part of the team that kind of turns it around and kind of establishes the new culture has been a lot of fun. And last year was amazing. It was so cool to see how the city reacted, and really, I feel like maybe this is dramatic, but it really felt like the whole country kind of was low-key rooting for us in a way. So it felt very, very special, and hopefully this year we can take it to another further step.
Yeah. We're all sick of the Chiefs winning, so Chiefs, Lions,
and we hate the Packers.
Yeah,
and not really a big fan of the Bears. And the Lions always play Minnesota tough, especially in Detroit. But I'll tell you what, it's like if you look at our division, it's the Lions are the team I dislike the least, maybe. I don't know if that's what I'm saying.
That's so nice of you. Thank you so much.
No, it's all in fun, and it was a lot of fun to watch you guys, and to see, you had to root for the Lions because it's obviously been a struggle with that club for a long time, and to see you guys succeed, it was fun to watch. As disappointing as the Minnesota seasons are over and over again, we usually have a decent record most of the time anyway, but we're always disappointed in the end, it seems like. So it was fun to see what you guys did there last year.
I really appreciate it.
But and I want to talk fishing. Obviously, this is an outdoor show, so we're going to talk fishing because that's obviously maybe your first love, your second love, what you like to do in your spare time. But let's just talk a little bit about who you are. So you're from Victoria originally?
Correct. From Victoria, Minnesota. Grew up there. Went to Chanhassen High School. and then went to the University of Arkansas, and then was drafted to Detroit, and I've been in Detroit for going on 7 years.
That's awesome, man. So did the Gophers try to recruit you?
Yep. Jerry Kill was the coach when I was getting recruited, and they recruited me pretty hard, and I was pretty close to going there. I love Coach Kill and had a great relationship, and I kind of had a really close relationship with my parents and didn't really want to leave home, but
sure.
My dad actually was the one kind of encouraged me to kind of branch out and at least look at other schools outside the state, and I visited Arkansas and kind of fell in love with the campus and the place, and the rest is history.
Where in Arkansas is that campus at?
Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville.
Fayetteville, okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like right in the Ozarks and everything. It's really beautiful.
No, it had to be tough to see all those ducks flying around in the fall when you're in Arkansas.
Yeah, Stuttgart. Yeah, that's a tough. There's a lot of opportunities there that you got to say no to. Believe me, the fall is some of the greatest fishing opportunities, some of the greatest hunting opportunities, and I'm working. One day.
Right. This is not in any way comparable to what you did, but I worked a lot in the fall for my job when I was doing radio in Fargo, and we were the flagship for the NDSU Bison football team up there, and they had a pretty good run, winning some national championships there. So every other Saturday in September and October, I had to be at the Fargo Dome on Saturday mornings, and I was just like, it was fun to watch the team, but I was just hating life. Getting text messages from all my buddies shooting limits of mallards and cornfields. I'm like, come on. It's painful.
Just itching. Yeah. I feel you there. I feel you.
So Arkansas, is it true that you never allowed a sack in college, your whole time in college?
That is true. Lucky.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. And then the other fun fact we learned about you today is that you've fallen through the ice while ice fishing.
Did you guys watch that video?
Of course. No. So you got a YouTube channel, Grizzly Man Outdoors. So we were checking out a few of them on there, and you fell through. Frank, you're 6'5", 311 pounds. All right, you can't go ice fishing until February. Okay.
Yeah, I've learned that. Learned that the hard way.
So tell us about that. What happened? Is it early ice?
It was actually not early ice. It was, I want to say it was December or January even, and I was just being I think I said in the video a jackwagon, but holy smokes, was I being a jackwagon? Just kind of messing around, and I knew that I'd fished this pond in the summer, and I knew that there were largemouth in there, so I'm like, all right, well, let's take my drill out there and see what we can do. Didn't get a chance to see.
Well, it looked like at least it was fairly shallow where you were.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I'm under 6 foot and $170 on a good day, and the fire department's had to pull me off the ice, so because we float.
That does make me feel. I was feeling a little thick, a little husky there, so that helps.
That was an early ice Red Lake situation.
Yeah. Good times.
So, growing up in Minnesota, did you always fish? Did your family fish?
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest blessings that it's kind of all I've known since growing up. My dad was a huge fisherman. My grandfather was a huge fisherman. My great-grandfather was a huge fisherman. Actually, my great-grandfather bought a cabin in northwest Ontario that you can only get to by boat or plane, and we've been going up there since I can remember, and it's kind of always been a part of who I am, and I think it's the biggest blessing in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. And that's the same way that I got introduced to it too. And I feel very fortunate. Not everybody has that type of situation, so I feel very fortunate about it. So does that lake in Ontario then? Does that have lake trout in it, or what? Because you kind of got bit by the lake trout bug, didn't you?
Oh, I'm all in on lake trout. I am obsessed with lake trout. Yeah, that has lake trout. Not really the giant monsters, but a good average size, and then. It's got great walleye, great muskie, northern. It's just your classic shield lake.
Well, we were hoping to get you up to Tasman this year. Maybe we'll have to look into that next year because it's those big lake trout. I'm the same, growing up here in Minnesota, unless you were spending a lot of time up in the Arrowhead or up in northern Minnesota, we didn't really have the chance to fish lake trout much. And when we did, we ice fished them a little bit and caught some okay fish. But man, once I caught one of those big, that first trip to Tasman, I caught one that was, in the 50s. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to fish anywhere else for anything else anymore. I
can't even fathom that. I think I'd cry. It's addicting. I'm right there with you. It is something so special. I love them. And they're all so unique and have their own story. I just think they're such a cool fish.
They're fun. They get a bad rap on Lake Michigan. I know we do some of the All Canada shows down there in Milwaukee, Green Bay, Chicago, and we try to tell these guys that fish Lake Michigan that come to Saskatchewan to fish for lake trout, and they're like, oh, I don't like those grease balls, and it's a completely different way. It's a completely different way of fishing than they do in the Great Lakes most of the time.
For sure.
We're not trolling 8 rods out there trying to catch salmon. We're jigging for these big fish, or we're trolling big baits on the bottom. You're holding on to the rod and then holding on for dear life generally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not them big noodle rods doing the charters out there, skidding them across the surface. This is a real fight.
Yeah. Have you done some Canadian lake trout trips then? It looks like you've traveled a little bit.
I've been up in northern Manitoba quite a bit. I've done Baker's Narrows Lodge. I did that this year. I go up to Wekusko Falls Lodge up there, and I've done some lake trout up there, walleye up there, kind of everything. And I've gone to my cabin a bunch. Like that lake trout right there is my cabin in
Nice.
Northwest Ontario. And
nice.
I've just got the bug. I will do anything for them.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about what we can see on your channel because you've traveled around a little bit fishing for different species, some saltwater stuff, and then you've had some other NFL players and coaches with you, including, we just learned about Jared Goff's hook sets today, actually.
Isn't that funny? The thing is, guys, he still thinks there's nothing wrong with that. He thinks it's dialed, and he thinks it's the best hook set in the world, and I love it.
All right, that was Frank Ragnow from the Detroit Lions. Big game. Obviously we're Viking fans. We hope the Vikings win, but good luck to Frank too. It's fun watching Detroit do what they're doing.
I hope the center has a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. You said that in a weird way, Dan. What did you mean by that?
I hope their team loses, but I hope Frank plays a great game.
I hope everybody
has a lot of
the
fun.
best time.
All right, this segment brought to you by Tasman Lake Lodge. Learn more at TasmanLake.com. Trophy Lake Trout Northern Pike. A brand new Tasman TV episode on the Tasman Lake Lodge YouTube channel as well. We got a Lake of the Woods fishing report when we come back on Sporting Journal Radio.
Lake of the Woods, the walleye capital of the world, is calling out to you. From the Northwest Angle to the South Shore and Rainy River, this is the Midwest's #1 ice fishing destination. Walleyes, sauger, perch, northern pike, and eelpout. The fishing on Lake of the Woods is like a world of its own. Experience the most amazing fishing through one of the many full-service resorts featuring heated fish houses, ice transportation, meal plans, and sleeper fish house options. For more information, go to lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
All right, we're back on Sporting Journal Radio. Joe Henry's our guest now. Joe, how you doing?
Hello, Brett. I'm doing well, buddy.
It is, hunting season is over finally, so I can 100% dedicate my time to ice fishing. I'm excited. We're coming up to Lake of the Woods here in a couple of days. I'm jacked. I want to talk about that and what we're going to do there. But just real quick, how's fishing up at Lake of the Woods right now?
Fishing's been really, really consistent. Very, very good. I mean, I should say consistent. It's always fishing, Brett. When you go up to Lake of the Woods, they all say you want to put a full day in. And the reason you want to put a full day in is because, you don't know if you're going to get the slug of fish coming through in the morning and the afternoon, right in the middle of the afternoon, or towards evening. With that stained water, I mean, your best bite hypothetically could be right at noon. You just don't know. But when you put a full day in fishing, most people are catching limits of fish. Most people are catching a lot of small ones they have to put back. Once in a while, you're going to stick a good slot walleye or a trophy walleye, monster pike, might get an eel powder too, might get a couple jumbo perch. That's a 45-inch pike you just showed. There's a big burbot. There's a 45-inch pike a young guy caught. 45 inch, that's a big pike.
Jim Kleinsasser was there.
Yeah.
He was 40, wasn't he? That's Chuck Foreman, I think.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm not as old as you guys.
So that's your excuse for your mistaking a mustache?
Yeah, I'm young. I'm youthful. I got to learn from the elderly here.
Right. We don't let him get away. The way he nails us, we don't let him get away with that stuff.
No, we can't.
Well, sorry, I don't know my
free
old
passes.
loser Vikings.
Wow.
Well, they kept losing back then. Now they're winning this year. It's because I'm watching.
Oh, that's what it is.
Anyways, back to Burbot.
Okay, now we know why the Vikings are on track. Okay, well, let's get that down.
Well, people always wonder why Sam Darnold's so good. It's because of me.
Bold claim.
Prove it's not.
Do you stand by that, Dan?
I'll stand by that.
Wow. And
just like that, I derailed a whole conversation and a Viking season.
Wow,
this is great.
So I saw Roger there with a big Burbot, it looked like, too, Joe.
Yeah, Roger Cormier, Midwest Outdoors. Yeah, that is a big Burbot. I know he shot a TV show up there with, I think, his son and his son's buddy, and they caught a lot of bunch of fish. Look at the multi-species they caught up there, and it's just been really good. We thought it would be good because this fall there were a lot of fish staged off the South Shore, and there was also a lot of fish up in the Northwest Angle, kind of the normal haunts where you start setting fish houses. And sure enough, we get out there and those fish there's good population of walleyes and saugers in the lake. Those fish held because of forage, and we started catching them as soon as we got out there. And now it's just a matter of keeping on those fish, and it's been very good. Can you have a day that's a little bit slower because of a pressure system coming through or something? Yeah, absolutely. It's still fishing, even though it's Lake of the Woods. But I'll tell you, overall, when you go up there, you're going to catch some fish. It's just a matter of how many and how big. But you're going to get fish for a fish fry. You got a chance at a big one. You got a chance at multi-species. It's good old Lake of the Woods. It's why people go to Lake of the Woods ice fishing. Is really what it is.
Is it just me, or does it seem like there's been a lot of nice pike caught this year? I mean, compared to other years, maybe it's just the same, but I don't know. I feel like there's been a lot of pike getting caught this year.
Yeah, you know what? We have such a good pike population. The DNR manages Lake of the Woods to be a trophy pike fishery. So, our limit of pike is 3. Anything 30 to 40 inches, you have to let it go, and you can keep 1 over 40. The pike season's open year-round on Lake of the Woods. So, we have a lot of big pike, Brad, and, it seems like every year, and it's funny because, you get people targeting pike that get them, but you get a lot of walleye anglers that catch pike too, basically accidentally, when they're fishing walleyes. And, of course, I think the reason for that is that those pike are out there feeding on those small walleyes and saugers that are down there. And but no, I mean, our pike population is very robust. I tell you, I think we've been getting a lot of real big eel pout this year. Bourbon. I mean,
perfect.
We some big fish coming in. Fish big enough that you're like, man, did you weigh that? Is that going to be rivaling the state record type of thing? The last 2 state record burbot are out of Lake of the Woods for Minnesota, and the most recent one is approximately 19.5 pounds, which is the record. And there's some burbot. When you get a big one like that, normally when people are holding it, that gut just sags. And there's been some big ones like that being held up this year. So, again, it's part of the fun of going to Lake of the Woods. You set that hook. Many a times, an angler, including myself, would set the hook on a burbot and have a good, solid fight most of the way up and think it's a big walleye. And then, of course, it starts pumping a little bit when you get it to the hole maybe, and you lift it up, and sure enough, it's big old burbot,
Spinning around down there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened to us, Joe, when we were up at the Northwest Angle last time ice fishing. And that picture has made the rounds a number of times, and it was a lot of fun. I think it was near the end of the trip, and we were hoping for that big walleye, and that big burbot came in and smashed it and put up a pretty good fight and fooled us for a little while until we got it up to the hole. And I'm looking forward to that fight again, whether it's a burbot or a big walleye or a big pike or something like that, because we're going up to the Angle next week, and I'm excited. We went up last year during the summer, Joe, and we just learned about the history of the area. So we spent a day up there. We didn't even fish, which was just, it seems like it should be against the law.
Come on.
Exactly. But so I'm excited to get back up there and do some fishing. We have one request, Joe, for Sunday is we have to get up there before the Vikings game.
Oh, we got to watch the Lakes Detroit game. Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to get up there, and what we're going to do is we're going to hunker down at one of the great resorts up there. In this case, we're staying at Cyrus's Flag Island, and we're going to hunker down. We're going to get up there, get settled in. We're going to hunker down, probably at the bar, maybe in our cabin. We'll see. But we're going to hunker down, and we're going to have good company. We're going to have good camaraderie, and we're going to. They're known for their great food up there.
Waffle fries.
Oh man, I mean, and their food is so good. I should say too. I mean, the resorts up at the Northwest Angle do such a good job. When you go to the Angle ice fishing, Brett, you take an ice road typically to get to your island resort, or if you're staying on at a mainline resort in Angle Inlet, you don't even need to go across the ice. You stay right on land. But from there, when they take you fishing each morning, all those resorts up there use bombardiers. And they'll take you out via bombardier, and they'll take you to the fish house. They check on you a couple times throughout the day. Then they pick up you and your bucket of fish, right around 4:30, and bring you back in. And that's just the way it is. And they clean your fish for you. They ask you, do you want your fish cooked up for a fish fry tonight, or would you like to have them prepared to bring home? When you're going to head home. And it's just a nice deal up there. It's fun. It's picturesque. It's the northernmost point buoy. That's where the 14,552 islands of the lake begin. It's obviously an exclave, so you have to travel about 40 miles through Canada in order to reach the Northwest Angle. Otherwise, if you don't want to cross the border, you can take the snowmobile across the lake and stay in Minnesota. Or there's that, Lake of the Woods passenger service, which has bombardier service from the south end of Lake of the Woods all the way up to your favorite Northwest Angle resort. And you just pay a round trip fee, and they'll drop you wherever you're going to be staying. So really some nice options. But for people that take that little extra effort to go to the Angle, boy, a lot of people sure enjoyed it up there.
And it is a little bit extra driving, but I get asked all the time about going through the border there, and Dan and I go through the border quite a bit. Take a lot of trips to Canada. I think we went through it like 4 times last year, something like that. And that, especially that one there, they are so used to people going to the Angle, just passing through to get up there. It's a pretty easy border crossing and pretty easy process to go through to get up there. And we stayed at Flag now a number of times. It's a beautiful place. I'm looking forward to it. It's just real neat on that point on the island there, and it's protected in there. The cabins are really nice. The bar and restaurant, the food is delicious. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to ice fishing up at the Angle. We take a lot of trips to Lake of the Woods and fish the other parts of the lake. It's neat to get up there and get within the islands and the reefs up there at the Angle and just see a different part of the lake once in a while. And I can't wait. And Joe, it's the beginning of a new year, but this is kind of our year-end wrap-up show. So I wanted, before we let you go here, we just got a couple minutes left. I wanted to talk a little bit about 2024, and I asked all these guys the same question earlier in the show. What did you learn in 2024, Joe Henry?
That's a good question. I'm always I'm a lifelong learner, and you'll never hear me say I know it all or even try to ever indicate that.
Oh, I've heard you say that a couple of times.
You should know what number 44 is.
Yeah.
44 is my number at St. John's, you guys. So
oh, hey.
That's just 44, baby. No, you know what? Some of the things I learned, I've been, for my work, I've been doing more and more with AI, artificial intelligence. So I've been learning more about AI and how that can help us save time and make us at Lake of the Woods tourism more efficient. Certainly been trying to take a little time here and there to live in the moment. I do so much traveling, sports shows, photo shoots, filming, all these things that we do, going to the state capitol, dealing with different legislators, DNR folks. I mean, really trying to make good relationships, take a deep breath, try to enjoy the journey, at least for me. It's always go, go, go. And I've just been trying to take a deep breath, even in my busy work schedule, and just enjoy my moments at work. I mean, the one thing I learned, I heard a speaker from Quick Trip. We had a tourism conference in La Crescent, Minnesota, which is right across the river from La Crosse, Wisconsin, part of our Minnesota Association of Convention and Visitor Bureaus. And,
was it about the price of bananas, potatoes, and onions?
No fee ATMs.
Or no fee ATMs.
This gentleman worked for the world headquarters. He was a great storyteller. He's good. But he made the point, he says, we have a culture here where we try to teach our people that it's not that I have to, it's that I get to. And I've been trying to use that perspective more and more in my life, because it just, either way, I'm going to be busy, I'm going to be doing the things I'm doing. It just makes me feel better about maybe all the work I have to do or the long hours or whatever the case may be. It's not that I have to. It's that I get to. It's a privilege, and I think that's a good attitude to have.
That's way deeper than I was expecting. I thought you were going to say, like, I dialed in my live scope or, figure
I have gotten better. I have gotten better with the live scope. I fished my first walleye tournament this year where we actually focused on using a live scope for the walleyes. I got to tell you, my partner, Nick New, was much more dialed in on the live scope fishing than I was. I was basically, when it was crunch time coming to the end and we didn't have all of our walleyes we needed to have, I focused on controlling the boat and putting him in position and let him go after it. And I played netman for a while, but it's one of the ways you learn too. And that's technology, man. You just get better at it. I am getting better at a live scope, even using it ice fishing. I used live scope on Lake of the Woods this year for the first time on Lake of the Woods ice fishing. And it was, in fact, I just wrote an article for Midwest Outdoors about that experience. It was interesting watching the fish come from a further distance, being able to tell the different size of the fish, being able to be more prepared when you see a lot of those suspended fish on Lake of the Woods are nice walleyes. And, with a flasher, you got to reel up to them real quick and then almost stop at 2 feet below and slowly creep it up to them so you don't spook them. Well, with the live scope, you can see them coming from a much further distance away, so you can get your lure up there and have it ready for them. Just different observations, the way they behave, watching those fish creep along the bottom, watching how there's groups of 3 and 4 coming through at the same time, little packs, little schools.
It's so much fun. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so in 2024, Joe Henry learned how to be a better net man. Okay, got it. All right, Joe.
Listen, when you're fishing a tournament, it's about team success. Doesn't matter
That's
what,
right.
Yep.
Well, let's go for team success at Lake of the Woods, the Northwest Angle next week. And Joe, if people want to plan their trip to the Angle or anywhere at Lake of the Woods, what should they do?
Everything's on our website, and that is lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
Sporting Journal Radio is a division of Macaba LLC. If you've got a question, comment, or story idea for us, send us an email. Go to sportingjournalradio.com. While you're there, you can learn how to advertise on the show and visit our store for hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. Go to sportingjournalradio.com.